Well, I thought it would be something that would grow our faith too. Something that we could benefit from hearing. So with that, I invite Victoria to come forward and tell us what she has been learning, what God has been showing her.
Thank you for that introduction. All right. Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here and be up here. I think the last time I was up here, I was 8 years old and I was playing the innkeeper's daughter during the Christmas play. So, yeah, it's very nice to be up here. I want to thank you all for letting me take this opportunity to tell you about what all I've been learning in Atlanta. I've been a part of Mission Year, which, in short, is just kind of like spending a year living in community with a lot of people who can't really afford to take care of themselves. And we've each been volunteering at different service sites and places where we've been working. My personal one is the Covenant House of Georgia, which is a homeless shelter for youth between the ages of 18 to 21. So I've really been enjoying that a lot. But being in Atlanta and being part of Mission Year has not just been about helping other people. And that was not what I expected when I first came here. I expected that I would have to pretend to be perfect, you know, just hide from everybody, all of my flaws, all of my secrets, all of my insecurities, all of my doubts, and just seem like this person who's just completely put together and doesn't have any insecurities whatsoever. And Mission Year for me has been about just opening the doors to realizing these things up front and realizing how broken I truly am and how Christ has made me whole through that. So it's definitely been a big journey of self-discovery for me. And it has helped me to let go of parts of myself that I've been holding on to for a long time. And I first want to start off by talking about something that happened on Facebook a couple of months ago. I don't know how many of you use Facebook, but I made a post about an article I saw about how it is illegal to be homeless in Colombia, how you can go to jail for being homeless and not being in a homeless shelter. And I was, just talking about my opinion on that. And somebody commented on it and said, maybe they shouldn't have put themselves in that situation in the first place. A lot of the crime that's caused in Colombia is by homeless people, so you can't get rid of them fast enough, in my opinion. And I was just appalled. I was like, can't get rid of them fast enough? What, are you wanting to execute them? Like, that makes no sense. I didn't say that, of course. I was too angry to respond in the moment. But I decided to take the same approach that my city director takes by asking questions instead of making statements. And I asked him, so you think that these people deserve to be thrown in jail just because they're homeless, even if they haven't committed any other crimes? And he said, seems to me like being in jail and having free food and free shelter would be a pretty good alternative to sleeping on the streets. And I said, well, that's not what I asked. I asked, do you think these people should just be arrested for the crimes that they do actually commit, or should they be thrown in jail just for being homeless? Should they have something on their background check for the rest of their life just for being homeless? And he never responded to that. But it made me really think about how I felt before I came to Mission Year, about people who were in these situations, experiencing homelessness, is how we put it now. And before I came to Mission Year, I was pretty judgmental about it. I felt like, yeah, these people put themselves in certain situations. They might be doing drugs, for example, and they're homeless for that reason. Or, like everybody has control over their future, their programs and grants and other things situations, but it was hard for me to accept the idea that anybody was in that situation and didn't really put themselves in that situation. And for me, I guess I kind of felt like no matter what the situation was, people probably enjoyed asking people for money or asking for things more than they wanted to look for a job. And I felt this way until our solidarity retreat, where we had to basically act like we were homeless for a day. We had to go downtown without any money, without our cell phones, without anything else, and we had to figure out a way to feed ourselves, take care of ourselves, find a place to go for the day, find places to use the bathroom, because in downtown Atlanta, you usually have to pay for food or somewhere to go to the bathroom. There's no public access to restrooms. And I didn't want to do that. I had so much pride. I felt like, that's just embarrassing. Like, having to ask people for money. And that's when it really occurred to me, like, how much pride I have and how hard it is to ask for help. Even right now, being at home, since I'm not using a car this year, we decided to not have car insurance because there's no point paying for something that you're not using. And not being able to drive my car, I'm having to ask everybody for rides while I'm home, and even that's difficult for me. And I cannot ever picture a world where I would enjoy asking people for help more than being able to take care of myself. Where I would want to go onto a bus or a train and go up to a random person that I've never met before and say, hey, can I have $1 to go get something to eat? Or, can I have $1 so that I can get off this train legally to go where I need to go? The idea just makes me so terrified of ever being in that situation, and I can't imagine now what these people are going through after my little bit of experience in that situation. And basically, being broken is something that it's hard to be proud of. And when I came to Mission Year originally, during orientation, they were talking about God so much and all these different things, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm a fraud. Like, they're not going to want me. They're going to want somebody who's got their life together. I don't have my life together. I don't know who I am or what I'm doing. And I went up to my city director and said, I can't do this. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not worthy of this. Like, I don't know that much. I can't really help these people. And I remember she was just trying to shush me and say, just get through this orientation. You're going to learn a couple of things. And through that process, I not only learned that a lot of other people had been through some of the things that I've been through, but that everybody there was broken, no matter how put together they seemed, no matter how, some of them had tattoos with Bible verses and other stuff, and I'm sitting there like, I've never done anything like this. I don't know what I'm doing. And learning just everything that people are going through this year and how broken they are, it makes it so beautiful to be a part of that and to embrace my brokenness. Because through this brokenness, I've learned the grace that Jesus gives, something that I've never really known before. And it makes it so much easier to be less hard on myself. And it makes it easier to not judge other people who are in bad situations that they may or may not have put themselves in, and to build relationships with them and live equally with them and not be just somebody who's doing this temporarily and then leaving and never talking to them again. And though they're in those situations now, there's no telling how much potential each of them has and where they'll end up. And Jesus did did not condemn the woman caught in adultery because he saw who she would be in eternity. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody is broken. But God loves us and sees us in his eternity. And through that, we are forgiven for every choice we've made that is less than honorable. Every moment we've decided to be selfish. Every moment that we have just been unsure of ourselves and doubted everything. And I certainly don't, there's a lot that I have left to learn. I have a lot left to know. There's a lot of things that I will never know. But I'm able to feel comfortable with the idea that no matter what decisions I make, I will never make God stop loving me. And that is what I have learned this year through being part of Mission Year. And I am so thankful that this came into my life because it's been so completely life-changing. And yeah, that's in a nutshell everything I've learned. I know I have a time limit, so I don't want to go over it. But I just want to thank everybody so much for letting me speak. And okay. And I also am raising donations. I'm not completely funded yet. I have to raise $12,000 for the entire year. I've raised almost $7,000, so I've got a little ways to go. So any donations are welcomed and appreciated. And thank you so much once again. That's it.
How would y'all like to do that? Just take a day to be homeless, where you're not allowed in your home, you're not allowed your own clothes. They went to Goodwill and brought in bags and said, pick from this what you're going to wear today. And then you're put on the streets of Atlanta to live for a day. You know, some attitudes might change with that experience. And she's been doing this for a year, so I'm proud of her. And I know God is working in her life in all sorts of ways. If you would like to make a donation to Victoria, please put it in a separate envelope and just mark it for that. We'll make sure it gets to the right place. Now, if the ushers will come forward, we'll continue with the giving.